Hi, how are you? I'm just going to wait a couple minutes for a few other people to come in and I will be right back. Hey, everyone. Hi. Hello, everyone on IG. I appreciate you guys joining me today. We are going to be talking about thinning hair. If you see the name of my page, it is Hair Loss Center NJ. My name is LaRon Quarles, and I am a certified IAT trichologist, and I am a hair loss specialist, a holistic hair practitioner in Pleasantville, New Jersey. So when I come on my page, I always have plenty of goodies to talk about that will help you with your hair and help you understand why your hair is thinning and some of the challenges that we go through. And one of the special products that I'm going to be talking about today is Fix. So if you want to learn more about how to help your hair, how to help it from being thin, how to stop it from being thin, this live today is brought to you from Fix. Fix. And anyone who schedules a 1 hour in person hair and scalp session gets these two products complimentary with their 1 hour hair and scalp session. But that is only when you say that you saw on this live that you saw the product because they're sponsoring this live today, and those two products go to you for free. And again, my name is LaRon Quarles. I am the owner of SBO Hair Loss in Pleasantville, New Jersey, and we are going to be talking about thinning hair. What happens? How does it happen? Where does it come from? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get into this conversation. So my market of women here in my Pleasantville location are women over the age of 50. I myself am 56, so I understand the needs and concerns of women over 50. I understand how people feel. They're going through menopause. They may have had changes with their menses. They're going through hot flashes. They're going through different things, different feelings. Their hair is thinning, but we're going to just talk about it and talk you through it and give you some helpful hints and what you can do if you're having some serious concerns with your hair and scalp. So again, my name is LaRon Quarles. I'm a certified IET trichologist and I'm a holistic hair loss practitioner. So any of the things that I do for my clients is always going to be holistic in nature. It's never going to involve any drugs. It's always going to involve health and wellness and alternative methods of healing. So when I talk to my clients about restoring their hair, restoring their health, I am talking about implementing the 7 pillars of health and other products and services that can help you along the way. So put it in the chat. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you have ever dealt with thinning hair because we're going to talk about why we have thinning hair and what changes are happening and what we can do about it. Because I say changes because many women that I talk to, and it's funny, many women that I talk to don't understand that their bodies are changing. And it's nothing they did. They refuse to give credit to the fact that body's changing. The body's changing every day. When clients come to me for hair and scalp exams, I ask them to bring their blood work. When they bring their blood work, sometimes I have to preface my request by saying, do not bring me blood work older than 90 days because after 90 days, you are essentially a brand new person. Your organs have cellularly regenerated in 90 days. So your blood work 90 days ago really cannot help me. So you are not even the same person you were 90 days ago because your liver is regenerating, your epithelial cells are regenerating, your heart cells are regenerating, everything is regenerating, and the hair cells are regenerating. It's the fastest growing cell in the body, and it's regenerating daily. So when I say your body's changing, that's all it is. So let me explain to you what it is that I mean. When we're going through bodily changes, how many of us can agree that we're not babies? I myself, I'm 56. I understand I'm not a baby. I'm 56 years old. So I'm 56 years away from being an infant. I was an infant then I was a toddler, then I was a child, then I was a preteen, then I was a young adult, and an adult, and so on and so forth. So, what I want to share with you is your body is going through changes every single day. There are seasons, there are growth patterns and growth spurts. And along with that, there are just things changing. Hormones take a lot of place in all of that change. For many women, we start out as a preteen. Many of us, I myself, I began menstruating 13. Some people begin menstruating at 10. So you are the equivalent of a young woman at 10. So you're going through menstruation at 13. Then you're having children, multiple children. And what is involved in all of those changes? Hormones. Your female hormones are going up and down. Your FSH is going down, it's going up, it's going down. Your estrogen, your progesterone, your testosterone, your LH levels, your prolactin levels, so that you can nurse your children. Hormones are on a constant up and down, up and down, up and down. So, one thing that I want to share with you is if you have anyone in your area, in your cipher, in your backyard to help you manage your hormones, that is one thing that I suggest you do. Not everyone is able to have someone help balance their hormones. No, not a lot of us have the ability to get HRT. A lot of different clients of mine, some of them are able to get HRT because they're trying to find balance so that they can feel better. Their lady parts can feel better. They can stop growing hair all over the place and they'll stop losing hair here. So, one thing that I want to share with you is hormones are at the core of what it is that I'm going to cover today. Not all, but some. So, when you're wondering why your hair is thinning, hormones are partly to blame. So, when you are young and you're a preteen and you're going through your first stages of menstruation, you're eating everything, you're gaining weight, your face is breaking out because the levels of your testosterone, your estrogen, sometimes it's bringing more sebum to your skin, you're sweating more, you're developing more acne. It's a lot of hormonal changes. So, the one thing that I really would suggest that you do, I have a very helpful book that can help you. If you ever want to learn how to balance your hormones naturally, I have a book in my profile. And for you guys here on TikTok, all you have to do is go to my bio. There is a book in my store called Balance Your Hormones Naturally. For Instagram, there's a book. All you have to do is go to my link tree. There's a book on how to balance your hormones naturally. Facebook, all you have to do is go to this link right here, and you see it scrolling across your screen. It's a book on how to balance your hormones naturally. I have all kinds of plant-based products, herbs, essential oils, and a whole lot of things that can help you balance your hormones. So, with women, I'm going to get into what happens when we start approaching our 30s and 35. So, with different women, it's different. I know when I was in college, I had the best hair that I had ever seen in my entire life. I had some beautiful hair. But then, shortly after that, in my early 30s, my hair just started tapering off, and I started having huge hormonal changes, of which I'm not going to get into right now. But I began to eventually be able to see. I can go like this and look in the mirror and see the entire halo of my head, and my hair was thinning really, really badly. What was it? Hormonal changes. So, what I want to just share with you all is hormones are at the base of what it is that you're experiencing. So, when you have the chance, try implementing plant based hormones, plant based estrogens, and plant based products that can help you balance your hormones. When we approach 30 and 35, our estrogen is the highest it probably will be ever. And then as we start to age 30 to 35, that estrogen is naturally just going down. It's tapering every single year. It's going down, 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 down. You get to the point of when you're about 40 and it kind of tapers off really quickly. And then for a lot of us, we are starting to enter into menopause. First, we go through menstruation, then we're in premenopause, menopause, and perimenopause. So those levels of estrogen are declining. Another thing that trips up a lot of our women is birth control pills. For different women, it can be the birth control pill itself, it could be some sort of cream, it could be some sort of implant to prevent spermatozoa from reaching the lady parts and causing conception. It could be the shot, it could be the patch. All of those products, they influence and change how your hormones behave. It prevents your eggs from being released certain times of the month. So it's changing and managing for you how your levels perform. For some women, it's going to cause you pause and cause problems with your hair. A lot of our birth control products also has a measure of testosterone in it, which for some women causes sensitivity and will cause and promote hair loss. So the other thing that I want to share with you is if you guys are getting on and off of birth control pills, if you're on a patch, if you're taking the pill, if you're using creams, if you're using some sort of implant that inserts into your vagina, sometimes those products themselves are the catalyst for causing you problems with your hair. What I'm referring to throughout this whole live is the bulk of what it is that we experience as women are hormonal changes. Now, and this is not just about our sexual health. I'm talking about a lot of hormonal changes, and I'm going to keep it moving. So, number one, once we approach our 30s, we're getting into our female swing. And for a lot of us, we are our best sexual selves in our late 30s, early 40s. However, that's exactly when our levels start to taper off, and a lot of us start to see the changes in our hair. So we really have to do our best to make sure that we're ingesting plenty of plant-based estrogen, plenty of plant-based products that feed, nourish, and support our estrogen levels. I also, in that book that I mentioned, I have a ton of different essential oils, a ton of different, oops, sorry about that, it's backwards. A ton of different essential oils that can help bring balance to your life if you're having challenges with your hormones. Also, I'm going to get to that in a minute. We all have to manage our diet. Our diet has a big influence on how well our hormones also perform. So please be mindful that you can utilize HRT to bring balance to your body. But when you get on HRT and off because you're trying to level out yourself, you get on, you get off, you get on, you get off. You're trying to get your doctor to get this level. It may cause problems with your hair growth. So when you get on your HRT, try not to change it and alter it too much because it may cause, for those of you who are sensitive, it may cause problems with your hair growth. So anytime you are disturbing your hormonal balance, or anytime your hormonal balance is disturbed by something synthetic like a drug or anything like that, or you get pregnant, anything like that, you will have challenges with your hair growth. Now, for our menopausal women, our estrogen levels are tapering off late 40s, early 50s. I'm 56. I have just got to the point where I'm not menstruating the way I used to. It's been about 6 months. So I'm having the hot flashes, my metabolism is changing. When I was never a sweater, now I'm a sweater, I'm sweating all the time. But what I also see is the increase in androgens, which happens with women who are menopausal and going through perimenopausal, postmenopausal. There is a rise in the male hormone. Hi to Linda. There is a rise in the male hormone called androgens. So androgens are rising when we are approaching menopause. Androgens are the male hormone. So as we age, sometimes we'll start to see thicker, coarser hair on our chest, on our face, and we start to see our hairline starting to minimize. We won't totally lose the hairline, but it'll start to thin and it'll start to diffuse and it'll start thinning out because the level of androgens in our body are raised because of the natural progression of life. We are changing. So I wanted to put into perspective that the hormones in your body are just causing you a little bit of pause. Now, this area that's always going to be affected is this area right up here, never anywhere else. Above the eyebrow is that dreaded hormonal zone. That dreaded hormonal zone. It'll never be here above the ears or in the back. If you did lose hair here, that's a different type of hair loss and alopecia. But what I'm referring to is when you're having problems with hormones, you're going to feel it all up here, right above the eyebrow. The area above the eyebrow is the most sensitive to hormone disturbances. So I just wanted to kind of point that out for you. Next on the list, and if you have any questions, put them in the chat. I have a couple people here, but I know this might be something interesting. But really, if you guys have potential questions, just put them in the chat. Put them in the chat, and I will address them. I'm going to continue as to why we tend to have problems with thinning hair. One of the second things that I want to mention is your digestion is going to change with time. I'm on here a lot talking about my type A's, my type AB blood types. They have very weak stomach acid. They're not going to be able to digest food the way a type B and a type O can. And those with type A and type AB blood are notorious for having upper GI, weak stomach acid, digestion, and problems eliminating. Because they have problems with their stomach, liver, and gallbladder, they are almost always going to have problems going to the bathroom on a regular basis because they have problems with digestion. You can't have bad digestion and have good elimination. They usually kind of run together because you have to ingest the food and then you digest it. It is forming chyme, things are happening, and your body prepares it for elimination. So what I see in my type A's and my type ABs, they have weak stomach acid. Now, I want to share with you that digestion, the way your stomach processes food, will never get better. Wherever you are now, the functioning of the stomach and the liver and the gallbladder and the kidney function, all of it, it goes down, it weakens with time. So I want you to understand that if you're having a challenge with GERD, if you're having a challenge with gastric reflux, any kind of nausea or problems when you're eating, it is not going to improve. What I want to share with you is when you start having problems with digestion, you will see it right here. Miss Hawkins, I thank you for letting me know that it's buffering. I am streaming on 3 platforms. I have my Facebook, 2 Facebook accounts, my YouTube, I have my Instagram and TikTok, and I apologize, but I know it's eating up all the data, but I'll try switching it to Wi-Fi. But thank you so much for letting me know it's buffering. Give me 1 second. So maybe that'll help, and it may get a little better in just a second. So I say all that to say that let me change my Wi-Fi over here because maybe that'll help there as well. When you're having a challenge with digestion and you already have a problem digesting your food well, you feel nauseated, you have a lot of burping, you got a lot of challenges, you have to support your body's needs. When your body's having a challenge, you have to support it. So I'm not sure if anyone has heard me talk about when you're having challenges with digestion, this is the first place you're going to see it. This area here will start growing thin. Also, what happens with frontal hairline graying is, I want to let you in on a secret. It's called conitis. Usually, when you start graying prematurely or you're graying a lot here in the front, is because of your digestion. The digestion starts slowing down and the digestive power is weakening. So you have to give your body some help. And what do I say often when I'm in my chat rooms? I always let you guys know that you have to help your body along by using things like digestive bitters, oils that help with digestion, digestive enzymes, hydrochloric acid. So that's reason number two why your hair may be thinning. Because as you age, your hair is not going to be the same it was when you were 19, 20, 30 years old. Everyone's hair starts taking a dive, but it's not because you're getting old. It's because the body's digestive capacity and the power of the stomach weakens with age. So you have to support your body and you have to help it along. So if you hear what it is and I'm saying is making sense to you, please put it in the chat. Let me know that you're listening. If you have any questions on what type of products you should use, please let me know. I'm willing to share what it is that you have questions about right now. So that is two. And if you guys are listening, I just want to make sure that you are with me when I say that hormones are at the base for a lot of our thinning challenges. Hormones, even for men too. When it comes to androgenic or androgenetic hair loss, androgens and hormones are at the base. DHT, which is a hormone, is at the base and the root of the thinning. So a lot of what it is that we're experiencing, hormones are at the root of that. So I'm going to keep going just to stay on track. But if you guys have any questions, please let me know. So the other the other source of hormones that I want to share with you right now is stress hormones. Stress hormones. And again, those two words, stress and hormones. When I started off talking about why your hair is thinning, and I said hormones are at the root and the base, these are more hormones that will cause effect or cause change in your hair growth cycle when you are in stressful situations. Now, let me share with you some of the dynamic of what's going on with stress and with those hormones. You're in a stressful situation and you're in stressful situations repeatedly. What is happening? You have blood vessels here. You have blood vessels. I'm going to just share with all of my platforms. You have blood vessels. These are blood vessels, the arteries and veins here. Arteries and veins. These arteries and veins are feeding this hair bulb, this root in the papilla. So when you're stressed out, guess what? You're sending stress hormones all through your blood, and they're feeding into this hair bulb, this root, and this papilla. So all of those stress hormones are going all through the blood, going right to your bulb in the papilla. Also, these little yellow doodads here that are circling around this sebaceous gland and this follicle, these are sensory nerve fibers. So every time you are stressed out, you're in effect sending shocks, electric shocks through your hair every time you're in a stressful situation. When you are stressed out, your hair is stressed out. So that is one of the many reasons why, and I'm going to get into it in a moment. Whenever you're stressed, your hair feels it. These are sensory nerve fibers. So the hormones, the stress hormones, all the sugar, all the insulin that you're secreting because you're stressed is being fed to this dermal root and the papilla, and the sensory nerve fibers are encased around each hair follicle. Each follicle has its own sensory nerve fibers. So whenever you are stressed, neurotransmitters are being directed back and forth, sending out sensory nerve fiber information saying, I'm stressed, I'm stressed. And what is happening is it's kind of like the sensory nerve fibers are just going like this, shaking your hair follicle each and every time that you're stressed. Another thing that is happening is your blood vessels are being constricted when you are stressed because that's just how the body works. It needs to help you with fight and flight situations. So your blood vessels will constrict so that you can do things quickly. It's not going to dilate, it's going to grow smaller. And what's going on when those blood vessels are small? You're not getting a lot of blood flow and you're not getting any oxygen to your hair follicle. So those are some dynamics. You're not getting any blood, you're not getting any oxygen to your to your hair root and the dermal papilla, and your sensory nerve fibers are getting signals sent to them through neurotransmitters that are telling your hair, we're all stressed out, we're stressed out. The cortisol that we're releasing cortisol all the time, every time we're stressed. What happens is in the cortisol dynamic, blood sugar is being raised. When blood sugar is being raised, it's also going to correspondingly allow the pancreas to release insulin. Insulin is a hormone. This is another hormonal disturbance. So this is why I'm sharing with you all that you're concerned about why your hair is thinning with age. A lot of it is based on hormonal changes, hormonal disturbances. So that insulin that's secreted from the pancreas that is rising because your blood sugar is rising because you're stressed out, that insulin constantly all day long because you're involved in stressful situations and trauma and things that you are not dealing with and that you can't get rid of, that you haven't moved to the side, that you haven't forgiven, because you're dealing with that stress constantly all the time, it is causing a problem with your insulin levels, your cortisol, your blood sugar, and your insulin levels. Your insulin is a hormone. Each time you're stressed all day long, it's causing a problem in this hormonal zone. And again, I want you guys to remember this is the hormonal zone of the scalp. So when you're having hormonal disturbances, changes in your female hormones, changes in your stress hormones, these hormones here affect the top of your scalp, not so much over the ear, not so much in the back. Like I said earlier, when you start having challenges here and above the ear, that is a different type of hair loss and a different type of malady. But what I'm talking about right now is when you're going through bodily changes, when you're maturing, when you're having issues with your hair and scalp, they're going to show up right in this hormonal zone. So if you have any more questions, please put them in the chat and I'll address them. So what I want to share with you is bring balance to your lives. Again, the book that I wrote is in the bio. All you have to do is go to the bio and get that book. And I have many plant-based options, essential oil options, different type of herbal options that you can look into to help bring balance to your body's needs. When you're dealing with stressful needs, one of the many things that you need to do is support your adrenals, your cortisol, your thyroid, and your stress levels. During these times when you are stressed, you are sending signals to different areas of the bodies, to different areas of the body, and the HPA axis becomes inflamed and it starts working overtime. When clients come in and they meet with me for hair and scalp exam, I can see this on their blood work. When they get their blood chemistry exam, HPA axis, hypothalamus pituitary axis, the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis will glow for me. When it glows for me, I know that you are under a lot of stress. That stress will contribute to you having hair loss here in the crown. And if you guys remember, because your insulin levels are constantly being raised, insulin is a hormone. Insulin is a hormone. So when you're having those challenges, this is why. I want to also, if you can give me a moment, I want to share with you some more information about, let me see if I can pull this up. Let me get this. Give me one second, one second. All right, all right. Yes, 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 yes. So among me doing just some research on stress hormones, I want to read something about something called CRH. This is corticotropin releasing hormone. When corticotropin releasing hormone is activated, it's activating signals so that cortisol and the adrenals can start doing their work. Corticotropin releasing hormone, or CRH, is secreted by paraventricular nucleus of the hypothalamus. Like I talked about a moment ago, hypothalamus is what is being activated during this HPA axis. It is the central driver of the stress hormone system known as the HPA axis. In human skin, CRH and CRH receptors were detected for the first time almost a quarter of a century ago. And this is from the NIH. CRH is recognized as an inhibitor, so it inhibits hair growth. CRH is recognized as an inhibitor of hair shaft production. So when you are stressed, you are essentially shutting down the anagen growth phase. So my ladies, my men, anyone who is within the sound of my voice, please, I need for you to find a way to calm yourself, bring balance to yourself, calm your nerves, because you are in a sense shutting down the growth phase of your own hair growth. So I'm going to continue. CRH is recognized as an inhibitor of hair shaft production, and CRH also takes part in the premature stimulation of the catagen phase. The hormone also has an influence on the reduction in the proliferation of keratinocytes in the hair matrix and the induction of their apoptosis. So apoptosis is essentially the death of the cell, any cell. So what I'm talking about right now is the death of the hair cell. So when you are stressed, it is forcing your hair from the anagen growth phase to the catagen resting phase. So your hair is essentially, it is moving up this hair follicle and it's moving itself out the way and it's preparing itself for exit. So what happens is when your hair is going through that resting phase, your hair is preparing for exit and it's going to make room for a new hair. Because you're in this cycle of intense stress constantly all the time, it is essentially going to slow down the proliferation of that hair to go back into the growth phase. So it's going to remain in the resting phase longer, the longer you keep having repeated bouts of stress. So you're forcing your hair to cause an outflow, or in a sense, an effluvium. The more you're stressed out and the more you don't support your body's needs and the more you don't deal with whatever it is that you're dealing with on a stressful level, you're going to continue having a problem with hair growth and hair loss if this is you. Not everyone tends to lose their hair during a stressful situation, but again, the talk today is, why is my hair thinning? It is thinning because of changes in hormone cycles. So I talked about women's health. I talked about menstruation, perimenopause, menopause, having a baby, being on a pill. All of those things disturb the hormone balance of the body. When you disturb the hormone balance of the body, you're going to have challenges here. Once again, challenges here. When you are having challenges digesting your food well, if you're not able to get minerals into your body, if the power of your stomach is weakening with each year, each passing year, like I said earlier, you need to help your body along. You need to give it digestive enzymes, digestive bitters. Give me 1 second, everybody.
Yeah. I text you I'm done early, and then I say to you whenever I can come in. But since you're busy, I'm gonna wait in the car.
Okay. Was it? It was today?
Yes, 4:45.
Okay, I thought it was tomorrow.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Yeah, just give me a minute.
yeah. If you want to know,
No, 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 no. Give
okay,
me a second.
okay.
Give me a second, everyone.
I'm gonna wait in the car.
Oh no, don't wait. Don't wait.
Okay, come in. Let me grab my phone.
Okay, everybody. I had a client that walked in. She thinks her appointment is today. It's actually tomorrow. So she walked in a little bit early because if I knew I had an appointment, I wouldn't be doing this live. And I apologize, everyone. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm sorry. She came in thinks she had an appointment, but it's for tomorrow. So I apologize. When she comes back in, I'm gonna have to address her again. So again, I hope you all are with me. So what I'm trying to help convey to you right now is hormonal changes, and when they are unbalanced, when they're out of balance, it's tomorrow at 4:45.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking at my screen now. It says Wednesday, tomorrow 4:45.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry, girlie.
No, that's
Sorry about
fine.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, see you later.
Yeah.
Yes. So find someone that can help you with HRT. Talk to your physician to see if they can help you bring balance to some of your body's needs. If you can, try not to get on birth control and off birth control, on birth control, off birth control, because all of these things are what causes. Oh, number one, Armelin, you said that's you. Well, tell me a little bit about your situation, because it's the constant change in your hormones. When my ladies come in and they're on HRT, a lot of what gives them pause and gives them issue is they'll come to me after 6, 8 months of trying to change their levels. When you're trying to change the levels, it's going to cause outflows in your hair. As I said earlier, with menopause, your levels of androgens and your levels of testosterone are raised naturally as you're approaching menopause. Your estrogen levels are starting to go down. So of course you're feeling different. Your lady parts aren't working and cooperating the way they used to. You're getting a little bit of irritable, you're getting the sweats, you're not feeling your best self. So you're trying to bring balance to your body, and I get it. However, because you keep changing, you're changing the levels of your HRT. You're getting on this, you're getting off of it. You're getting on this, and you're getting off of it. You're trying this, you're getting off of it. It's causing hormonal disturbances in your hair. And when you do that, you're going to cause changes in your hair and scalp growth. So I also talked about stress hormones and how the stress component raises cortisol levels, raises blood sugar, raises the adrenal response, raises insulin levels. Insulin is a hormone. When you are moving your hormonal levels around, your insulin levels around, and then your lady levels are moving around, you're having babies, you're not having babies, you're miscarrying, your hormones are constantly doing a dance. There are many women who, when they become pregnant, sometimes they lose their hair. And that's that delicate balance of the hormones. But just note that you will get your hair back. However, some women do tend to lose hair when they get pregnant. Many women also, they will lose their hair when they're lactating because it's another hormonal change. Your body needs to produce a lot of lactation hormones so that you can constantly be able to feed your children. However, what God gives us for one area sometimes creates lack in another. However, you will get your hair back, you will get your balance back, but you just have to wait until you finish lactating, wait until you finish with your children, give your body a chance to get itself back together, eat as clean as possible so you're getting plant-based hormones into your body. Use your plant-based hormones like I have in my book that you can find in my bio, and you will bring balance to your body. However, if you're constantly involved on the medication and synthetic hormone wheel, you will always have challenges with your hair and scalp. So yes, yes, my sister, yes. And you said that you have CCCA as well. I completely understand. And I thank you for being here. And you said you shaved it all off. Oh my God, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. So today we're talking about thinning hair. And do you have a problem with your thin hair? Is your hair thinning? Is your hair changing? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to go back to my page here. And again, Facebook and YouTube, if you have any questions, please let me know. For all of my beauty professionals, if this is something that you want to be able to help your clients with at work, I have a book called The 5 Reasons Why Your Clients Are Losing Their Hair. You can find this by tapping this link below, and you'll find it in that profile for those here on Instagram and TikTok. If you would like a copy of the 5 Reasons Why book, I'm having a strategy call for beauty professionals only who want to get into things like this, who want to be able to bring this type of value to their clients. We're having a strategy call once you purchase the book. We're having a strategy call. All the information will get sent to you once you purchase the book. So I'm going to keep going because I have about 20 minutes left. Another item, we talked about hormone balance for women. We talked about digestion. We talked about stress hormone. And we talked about the blood sugar component. We talked about stress. Now I want to talk about inflammation. Now, I am talking about my books because much of what I have covered are in these books. I have a book in my bio, in this link here. If you go to the bio on Instagram and for TikTok, all you have to do is go to the bio and this book will be there. It has so many different ways to help you reduce your inflammation and where the inflammation comes from. So, what I want to just share with you all is inflammation causes pain, it causes stiffness, it causes swelling, and it is also coming from your organs. You have to determine which organ is coming from. I'm going to share with you this. If you have a modest amount of plaque in your arteries, if you have high cholesterol, which means you have a buildup in your arteries, if you have a lot of calcium buildup and hardening of your arteries, your doctor will be able to let you know by the measurement of your diastolic and your systolic. One will let you know that you're having a lot of hardening of the arteries because of the way your heart beats. If you're having a lot of hardening of the arteries and a lot of cholesterol buildup and you're on maybe some high blood pressure medication, calcium channel blockers, your inflammation is coming from your circulatory system. You need to change your diet. Your inflammation and the medication that you're on will cause you hair loss because of microcirculation. You're going to start losing that blood flow and oxygen in this area, which is called the mid scalp and vertex. You're going to start losing hair in those areas because you're not getting enough blood flow and enough oxygen because you have inflammation in your blood vessels. As I said a little bit earlier, your hair and scalp is fed with blood vessels, arteries, and veins. These lead to arterioles and venules and capillaries, and they feed your hair and scalp. So if you're having a lot of inflammation and you're on blood pressure medication, you have a lot of cholesterol issues, you're on cholesterol medication, if you're on calcium channel blockers, you have a modest amount of buildup in your arteries, you have plaque in your arteries, your inflammation is possibly coming from there. You may have metabolic issues. You may have A1C, you may have high insulin, high blood sugar issues. If you have high lipid levels and you're on medication, your inflammation is coming from that area. You need to work on your inflammation in those areas, and that will help reduce inflammation in your body. Another area where you get inflammation from is the gut. And I know y'all not ready for this. A lot of people don't want to go to the bathroom. A lot of people don't want to take a colon cleanse. They don't want to sit in their bathroom for the weekend. They don't want to have to go to the bathroom. Oh, is this going to make me go to the bathroom? If you're having a problem with your skin and scalp, you're always irritated, you're very sensitive, everything breaks you out. Oh, I need a sensitive scalp relaxer. You probably have a modest amount of detoxification to do. You probably need to clean your colon. You probably need to go on and take a little colon cleanse, finish out that whole bottle, make sure you eat clean for the month, drink an inordinate amount of water to flush all that out and get that toxicity out of you. Because 9 times out of 10, your inflammation is coming from your gut. If you have really bad seborrhea dermatitis, if you have dermatitis and your skin and scalp is always red, itchy, and raw, if you have that constant buildup around your hairline, it looks gray, it looks red. If you're always flaky and you're scratching your eyebrows and your eyebrows have dandruff, your gut is so inflamed, it's ridiculous. Your inflammation is coming from your gut. If you're always in pain, your scalp always hurts, your scalp is very sensitive, one of the first things I put my clients on is a colon cleanse because you need to get rid of that toxic waste. So, inflammation comes from an organ. If you're not digesting your food well, it's going to come from your stomach and your colon. If you are having a problem with your gallbladder, if you're eating the wrong foods, and I always bring this back to my blood types. If you're a type A and a type AB, you cannot eat thick cuts of meat. You cannot eat things like deer and bear and goat and chicken and beef and lamb and pork and veal. You cannot because you do not have the stomach capacity. You don't have the stomach acid to digest those types of foods. Your blood type and your body is well suited for grains, vegetables, fruits, and very light fish, soy, tempeh. But B's and O's can eat those thicker cuts of meat. They cannot have as many starches. They can't have corn, rice, wheat, gluten, barley, and things like that because they tend to have more metabolic and blood sugar issues. So when you are a type A or type AB and you're eating things that you have no business eating, you're going to inflame your gallbladder. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have inflammation in your gallbladder and liver, and you're going to have your gallbladder removed, or you're going to have constant gallstones because of your diet. So I say inflammation is coming from your stomach and your colon because you're eating the wrong foods. Also, you can tell when your digestion is not good if you have halitosis. If you have halitosis, your food is just sitting in your stomach and you can't even digest it. You don't even have enough digestive enzymes for your food to be neutralized into chyme so that your small intestine and your large intestine can use it. The food is just sitting in your stomach. So when it's sitting there, it's developing bacteria. Bacteria will cause halitosis. So please, my sisters, anyone within the sound of my voice, the inflammation is coming from a body part. This inflammation over time weakens the body. It brings down the level of oxygen we're supposed to be radiating when we're eating the right foods, when we're eating plant based foods, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, lightly sauteed foods, and we're eating the meats and grains and everything that's for our type, we're going to be radiating. We're going to be having the best levels of blood. We're going to have good levels of oxygen in our body, and we're going to reduce those levels of inflammation. However, our diets will let us know, and it will give us inflammation. So, in this respect, this over time is going to contribute to you having thin hair. You have to take care of your body, everybody. Last on the list, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Just put them in the chat, and we will address them. Hi there. Hi, Sandra's Hair Health, Sandra's Lair Health and Trichology. Thank you for joining me today. So we've covered hormones as a basis for the disturbances in our thinning hair with time, and I talk about different types of hormones. So when you are changing and altering your body's hormones because of your diet, because of pills, because of HRT, because of medication, you may cause thinning hair. You're going to eventually have thinning hair because the body is changing. So there are different chemical changes, different metabolical changes, different hormonal changes going on that are going to cause thinning hair. Work within your your gynecologist, work with your natural wellness professional, your integrative wellness professional. Have them provide you plant-based alternatives to help you with your hormonal changes. When it comes to your stress, you have to make sure you're supporting your adrenals, your cortisol, your thyroid, and your stress hormones by taking things like ashwagandha. Because, like I shared with you earlier, I'm not going to get into this dynamic again. You can cause your hair to move into the growth phase, to the resting phase, and you can cause it to sit there longer without the hair repopulating and filling in that hair follicle with another hair. You're essentially forcing the hair from the growth phase into the catagen resting phase. When it's in the catagen resting phase, that hair is preparing for exit, and it will not refill that follicle as long as you are constantly stressed out. Again, stress, hormones. I'm talking about hormones being some of the cause for a lot of our thinning hair and the changes that we go through. So, last but not least, what I want to share with you all is when you visit your physician, when you visit your dermatologist, when you visit any physician who is not a natural wellness practitioner or a hair loss professional, holistic hair loss professional, or a trichologist, we are not looking for the same things. They are not interested in your hair to the degree that a hair loss practitioner or a trichologist is. So when you go to a trichologist or a wellness professional that is focused on hair, we're looking for things specifically in your blood panel that tell us about some things causing you to have pause with your hair. Often, when clients come to me for their consultation, they'll say, "Well, I went to my doctor, and my doctor said I didn't have any problems. My blood work was fine." But yet, you're sitting in our chair letting us know that you're having a challenge with your hair, so your blood is not fine. Get your blood work. Let us review it. Let us prepare what's called a blood chemistry analysis. Let us do our hair tissue mineral analysis. Let us do our analysis. Let us do what we need to do on this end from a holistic perspective to give you the holistic perspective of why you're having your challenges. You have to allow us to do what we do so that we can give you the news and the answers that you want. Your dermatologist, and not all dermatologists are like this, some are actively involved in hair growth and are surgeons and want the best for you as far as your hair is concerned. But most often, dermatologists are focused on skin. They're going to give you intralesional steroid shots. They're going to give you antifungal shampoos. They're going to give you topicals. But a lot of them are not going to be so invested in your hair that they're really concerned about how your hair grows. You're going to have to find that one in a million who is, or you're going to have to supplement by going to a trichologist or holistic hair loss practitioner. So get your blood work because I don't give anybody any recommendations, any information. I don't even train my students to do it unless we give you some sort of scan or we're evaluating your blood work. Your blood work is going to tell us different things. Some of the things that we look for is, "Hi, your new image. How are you? Thank you for joining me." We're looking for things like iron levels, your ferritin levels, your iodine and selenium levels, your vitamin D levels. We're looking for your blood work as far as your A1C, your insulin levels, your blood sugar levels. We're looking for your thyroid levels, your reverse T3, your T3, your T4. If you're having immune system challenges, we want to see your immune panel because we want to see what is elevated on your immune panel that may be giving you pause like lupus and other ailments like that. We're also trying to take a peek at your white blood cells because white blood cells will let us know if you're dealing with some underlying immunity issues, bacteria, and things like that. So when we're going deep and we're doing things, we're digging into your life in a way that other practitioners and physicians are not because they do not do hair. I have people that say to me all the time, "Oh, my doctor said my blood work is fine." And I say all the time, "Do your doctor do hair?" When your doctor do hair, then they'll be concerned about how your blood looks as far as your hair goes. They're looking at your blood in comparison to like a mean and median figure as to, okay, well, her white blood cells aren't elevated and this isn't elevated, so she's fine. No, when you come to someone like us, we're looking for different things. So please allow us to do our best work and serve you better by giving us recent blood work or coming in from for some sort of alternative scan because this is what we do best. So again, if you're having some challenges with thinning hair, look at your nutrition. Your nutrition may be not up to par. And I say that because if you're consuming a lot of processed foods, and I say this all the time in my lives, if you're eating a lot of processed foods with high amounts of sugar, high amounts of salt, high amounts of preservatives, some of the preservatives that are loaded in our boxed food, bagged food, food that we get out of a drive-through window, are loaded with preservatives that do not serve our bodies well. They're also loaded with high amounts of copious food colorings that are now working their way out. But those food colorings also disturbs our sensory nervous system. We can't even think straight. We can't rest. We can't do what we need to do because the food is loaded with so many things that hampers our ability to function, and we're wondering why we can't grow hair well. Also, we're eating too much salt, too much sugar. The processed foods have way too much sugar. Again, I said on a couple lives ago, I share with you all, I used to teach it, thank you, ma'am. I share with you all the concept of liver fat. I have a lot of women that come in for my trichology visits with high levels of liver fat. So I'll say, how much are you drinking? How much alcohol are you consuming? They'll say, I don't drink. I don't drink any alcohol. Then I have to say, okay, now I need to evaluate what it is that you're eating. And I'll ask my clients, give me a run through what it is that you're eating. And they'll always tell me, oh, we ate out at Chick fil A. We ate out at this restaurant. We ate out here. We ate out this. Too many processed foods can cause a lot of liver fat. You have to monitor your diet because liver fat is one of the fastest growing maladies in the US to date. If you don't believe me, please look it up. High amounts of liver fat comes from a lot of the processing in the foods. It's coming from the high amounts of sugar, the high amounts of processing and the preservatives. High amounts of liver fat causes cellular disturbances. It causes the cells to basically lose energy. It compromises the mitochondria functioning of each cell in the body. Like I shared with you earlier, the hair cell is the most fastest rapidly growing hair the hair cell is the most rapidly growing cell in the body. So when you are dealing with high amounts of liver fat, guess what? You're just asking for all this hair to thin right on out. Number one, you're going to feel it in the area here, the front, the mid scalp, and the vertex, because this area changes with hormonal disturbances. The liver produces over 300 hormones. So when you have high amounts of liver fat and your liver is inflamed, you're compromising how well the liver can detoxify you and provide the enzymes needed for you to digest food. Also, high amounts of liver fat shuts down the energy producing center of the cell. If the cell can't produce any energy, it can't split, it can't divide, it can't form new hair cells for you. It's the same as when you shave. As soon as you shave, the next day you're going to notice that your hair is growing back instantly. But on top of the scalp, when you have high amounts of liver fat, that hair is not regrowing the way you want it to. It's thinning, it's diffusing. You are losing hair because of your diet. You don't want to change your diet. So I like to share with you all the time. If you're within the sound of my voice and you're ready to make some changes because this is making sense to you, please, please, please reach out. My information is in the bio here on TikTok, it's in the bio here on Instagram, and it's in this information here scrolling across the screen on Facebook and YouTube. I'm a holistic hair loss practitioner. Everything that I suggest to you is going to be holistic based. It could be mesotherapy, it could be auriculotherapy, it could be chiropractic care. Everything that I'm going to recommend you in your treatment plan is natural in thought, in theory. We're going to recommend you herbs and plant based minerals, oils, everything that you need that is not drug therapy to help you regain balance to your body and get your hair back. Because as long as you are out of balance, your hair will never grow properly. If you need me, please reach out. I offer 15-minute consultations just to get a sense of what it is that you're experiencing, what it is that I can help you with, what is it that you're going through, and how I can serve your needs. I will also share with you what is needed so that you can make a visit to me, whether you come to me in person or virtual, and we will get this ball rolling so that we can help you get your hair back. However, I preface what I say by saying this: if you're not ready to make changes, this is not the time for you to reach out. I do not provide free advice because, like I shared, I need blood work. I need a special set of things to give you special treatment and to give you the treatment plan and the information that you need. I need information. So if you're not ready and you're not ready to get your blood work, if you're not ready to come in and make that 180, not a 360, but a 180, this is not the time, because once we find out what it is that you need, we're going to help you hit the ground running. This is not the time for you to be like, I gotta give up chicken, I gotta give up milk, I gotta give up soda. If you want your hair back, we're going to give you a plan of action, and we want to help you follow it. We're going to be checking in with you each and every week. We're going to be checking in to see how you're doing with your products and your wash routine. We're here to help you win, but if it's not the time for you, don't reach out. We are here to help you serve your needs. We offer 15-minute consultations to prepare you for what is needed to see us for a 1 hour session. We do have different types of programs available. We have virtual sessions, so you can be in New York, you can be in Chicago, you can be in Mexico. I don't care. As long as you have WhatsApp or Zoom, I can help you make this work. If you're in New Jersey, please come see us. Visit our website, because I am here to help you with your hair. My name is LaRon Quarles. I am an educator. I'm a certified hair loss practitioner. I am a certified trichologist and a non-surgical hair replacement specialist. So if I can help you grow your hair back, I'm gonna give you some hair, because that's what I do. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day on purpose, and I look forward to serving your needs soon. Have a wonderful day, everybody.